evening. We are thankful that we can gather in hope and some laughter in putting this together for you this evening in a time that is very unsettling for all of us. We are the Ludwig family. This is my husband Travis, my son Max, and my daughter Grace, and I am Nancy, for those of you who do not know us. We would like to begin this evening in sharing with where we have found God in this crisis today. And I will let Max start with sharing where he found hope today.
So today, I find not to be worried, but to find opportunity in what God is giving us here. Today I had the opportunity with one of my friends that I write music with to put together a few songs. And this came to me as a big opportunity to put myself out there and put our music out there in times of crisis and anxiety throughout the world. It provides a relief from everybody's stress about when they're going to get their toilet paper or when their next meal is going to be, that kind of thing. I find it a relief to be able to write music and put my thoughts out there.
And Travis offers a different opportunity to us as he works in the hospital where patients are going to be treated and where there is definitely uncertainty.
I think where I've found God today is, I think to kind of to reiterate what the pastor had said the other night, to do not be afraid. I don't have a choice but to not be afraid. We, as a healthcare worker, I'm a pharmacist in the hospital setting, where we actually have 5 confirmed cases. I would definitely consider us, fairly at risk, but along those lines of do not be afraid, like I said, I need to be strong there for my fellow co-workers and delivering medications at the right place and at the right time. And I've definitely prayed and asked for God to help me through that and to not be afraid and to be strong.
And I found hope today in that a friend of mine who is in the hospital for a different reason was released to go home, where hopefully she will find some rest. I've also found hope in talking with the teens that were in my house today, in that they are worried for our elderly family population, but not so much worried in the days that we're experiencing now. They find opportunity and hope for what is going to come in the future, and hope that and trust in that what we're doing is the right thing to do to prevent the spread of this coronavirus. I also found hope in working last night. I work at my brother's restaurant, and as you know, many restaurants are closed today at the urging of our leadership. I found hope in that people were very generous to people like me who work in that industry, where people will see drastic decline in their income, which will significantly impact how they live their lives and how things go for them in the future. So I found hope that people were generous and that people were happy to congregate in these times.
I will now lead you in reading Psalm 100. Shout for joy to the Lord, all the earth. Worship the Lord with gladness. Come before him with joyful songs. Know that the Lord is God. It is he who made us, and we are his. We are his people, and sheep of his pasture. Enter his gates with thanksgiving, and his courts with praise. Give thanks to him, and praise his name. For the Lord is good, and his love endures forever. His faithfulness continues through all generations. So after reading this verse, I was asked, where do you see this scripture today with what's going on in the world with the whole virus? And after I read this psalm, I realized that it definitely connects with what's going on today, and how we need to look into this psalm and connect it to what's going on. So this shows that even though this whole thing that's going on right now, even though it's going on, the Lord is still good and God, and he is here for us even through these hard times. Even though we can't physically go to church and worship him, we must still worship the Lord and ask him for help in these very hard times. In disruptive times like this, we must continue to return to God for hope, leave our fears at his feet, and rise to the possibilities of each new day.
We would like to offer a word of prayer. Dear Lord, please help us as we face this multifaceted crisis in our country and in our world. Please help us to be patient, to have hope, to find peace, and to look for opportunity in this situation. Please help us to meditate on how we reinvent the church together in these times where we're asked to not be together. And please help us to look upon our neighbors and to help where possible. We would like to pray especially for healthcare workers in our congregation this time. For Linda, for Larry, for Nicole, for Kelly, for Debbie, for Pam, for Travis, for Riley, for Rebecca, for Bob, for Ed, for Ashley, and for Chris. Please be with them in these unsettling times at their job where they are needed to help people cope with all of the things the coronavirus brings. We ask all these things in your name.
God of hope, please guide us in these days of uncertainty. Give us strength so we can cope with this crisis and know you are present in our lives. We will now end with another song. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see.
We thank you for worshiping with us tonight in the Vespers that we were given the opportunity to provide.
Go in peace. Serve the Lord.
And stay tuned to this channel tomorrow night at 7 o'clock for the next version of Nightly Vespers during the coronavirus. Good evening.